The following segment is sponsored by Petland.
Back on Iowa's News now, we are checking in with Ron from Petland. Of course, always answering all our questions about our pets and dogs and whatnot. And Ron, we're getting into the weather this time of year where it's a chore to go walk your dog at any point once those flakes start falling and it gets a little cold. But we're talking about a problem that can happen any time of year. Dogs that are tugging on your arm on the leash, and it makes it really tough for the kids to go take the dog for a walk. How can we get those dogs to settle down a little bit when we need to get that exercise for them?
Yeah, I was just talking with a friend, Jessica, from church, that was saying, hey, we've got this chocolate lab puppy. It's pulling, and it's pulling in her case when a car goes by. So
Sure.
I think they can tolerate it and all that kind of stuff, but they're just like, what do we do? And we talked through it and everything, and it was great discussion because you always start off with anything with your dog is training. What can we do with just some nice treat training and stuff? And she said, I'm already working with her. In this case, the dog pulls when the car goes by, and she goes, when I see a car coming, sit, and so the dog sits and then has a treat, kind of distracts and all that kind of stuff. And she goes, it works. She's still a young puppy, but there are times when we get caught off guard. A car comes by whizzing and we just didn't see it. I go, keep on the training, because that's your number one way of getting through this scenario. A puppy's going to learn and all that kind of stuff. And you can teach an old dog a new trick. So if you have that big older dog out there, do the same thing. When the dog's behaving, gets a treat in this situation. But she goes, I need something because my kids can't walk my dog or anything anymore. She goes, we have a harness, and that's what we've got here already on him. And I go, well, you just made it so that dog can pull even better. Think of a sledding dog kind of a thing up in Alaska. They put harnesses on them. That dog can now pull even harder. So harnesses are good on getting the stress off the neck, but they're great on letting your dog pull even more. So I suggested, let's get to a harness where you put this on your dog. It's got the lead on the top, but it's got this lead on the front. And I love this thing because a dog goes where the chest or nose is pointed. So if your lead is connected to the front of the chest of the dog, when you pull or when you're just naturally walking, the dog will follow you because it gets tense and it pulls that chest around back to you. So devices like this is called the RC Pets Momentum. This thing works really good. We sell a lot of them and they don't come back. So that's telling me that the customers are liking what they like, doing. If you're saying, okay, Ron, I'm doing that, but I'm just not getting the result, or I want something more or different or whatever. Remember, they've got these, they call them choker chains and stuff, and they do choke. And that's not, nobody wants to do that to their dog. But if you have a dog where you're at the situation where, well, I either have to give up the dog or figure this thing out, now you're getting into more training tools. I do suggest to go to a trainer if you're going to use some of these products, because you got to use them properly in order to get them done right and what's right for the dog. So these are just products where you put them on there, and then as you pull, it gets a little tighter around the neck and everything. One of my favorites in this realm is called a slip lead. So you put this around the head or the neck, and then as you pull, it does tighten up. And again, you want to use these things per what the trainer says. It's not a whoa and use them as a fishing pole thing. It's a correction and then done. And I always say use a verbal command on that too. So walk might be your thing. So as the dog's pulling, you go walk, you do a correction and bring them back. Over time, they figure this thing out, and they do it right away. So if you're having that, like, I have to have this correction right now, it's out of control, I can't even hold on anymore, a slip lead is probably the right solution for you. If you have any questions on how to use any of these, come into Petland. You can try them out in our store. We'll take them out of the package and all that kind of stuff so you can see how they work. And if it is the right tool for you, hey, you get to go home with a solution that's going to let you walk even more now.
And of course, Ron and his team have all the tricks of the trade and the right ways to use them when you do that. So if you want to give them a call, 319-512-7949, or just visit PetlandIowaCity.com. And a big thanks to Ron and Petland Iowa City for sponsoring this segment.